Good evening, students. We welcome back and hope you have gone through my previous videos. And with that, we have finished Unit 2. Let's start with Unit 3 today. And this is the main part which we have been waiting for, wherein we are actually going to learn to write the SQL queries. Okay, so with this, we will be aptly prepared for our practical sessions wherein you need to write the commands and make the schema, create the tables, build the relationship between them, and query them in whichever way it has been expected. So let's start gearing up for those queries. So this is the first video for it. The name of the unit is SQL 99 Schema Definition, Constraints, Queries and Views. Okay, so this is the Unit 3. This was the title for Unit 3. To start with, we will talk about the SQL data definition and data types. Let's start with SQL. SQL, for that matter, it is a structured query language. Okay, and the first thing that we are seeing is the creating schema. Okay, what do you mean by a schema? Schema is the database that you need to create. Okay, we have talked about schema prior to this. So schema is nothing but the database that you need to create. Now to create a schema, you might simply write create command which would read like create schema company. Okay, company is the name of the database that you want to create. Okay, now and you want to, and the author or the owner of this database you are mentioning, so authorization J Smith. So J Smith is a person who is the owner of this database, so you are authorizing him. Okay, so this is what is the authorizing him, and this is what is creating schema. So the first thing first you have to do is creating a schema, that is the database. Hope you understand that schema is nothing but the database. Now let's go ahead and talk about the create table command. Create table command can be as simple as wherein you are mentioning the schema, the name of the database, schema name as in name of the database. So it might just go as given below here. It might just say create table company dot the name of the table. Okay, company is what? Company is the name of the database, and you have a dot operator here, and then you mention the name of the table. Or you might just simply say create table name. Whatever is your table name, you will just mention it like that. But if you want to be specific about what database, if you have couple of databases in your the DBMS, then what would you do is write the particular schema name dot the table. So all these tables which have the dot operator with company will be under that particular schema. Okay, so this is what is the meaning. Now let's look at the entire or the complete create table command. It says create table name, whatever table name you want to give that table. Okay, then you have to decide, and bracket open, then you have to decide which all columns or attributes you want to mention in it. Now students, let me just remind you and relate you back to couple of things that we saw in our previous video. We had something like a relation. Okay, so we had something like a relation, then we had something like the attributes. Okay, then we had something like domain. Okay, then we had another aspect which was called as tuples. Okay, so when it comes to actually creating the database, then these are nothing but, in our database, relation is nothing but table. Okay, attributes are nothing but I'll say columns. Domain is nothing but this, varchar, not null. The definition of what kind of value can the attribute take is what would be named as domain. Now tuples are the rows. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. Now let's get back here to the create table command. Create table name. Create table has to be written as it is. Table name can differ depending on what table you are trying to create. So create table, you can see here in the top example, it is not completed, though it is ... So it was just a mention that employee table is being created. So it might be create table employee, create table department, create table dependent. So many tables we have seen. So whichever table is being created. Okay, then you have within the bracket the column names being mentioned. Column names as in the attributes. So the first attribute that you are mentioning is D name, that is the department name. Then you will mention along with it the data type or the domain of it. Okay, so you are saying varchar means variable, number and character both. Variable and character. And what is the length that you are mentioning in the bracket again? 10. And you are also mentioning a constraint along with it, which says null, not null. So not null as in it cannot have any null values, separated by a comma, and then the next column. So the next column is D number, department number, which has the domain integer, and then again it has been mentioned it is not null, and again a comma separated from the third attribute. MGR SSN is the third column, and the attribute, the domain is character, and the length that has been mentioned is 9. The fourth one is MGR start date, character, the length is 10, and then bracket complete and semicolon. This is what is the create table command. So I'll just brief you as to how it looks. It just simply goes like this. It says create, okay, create table. Then it has to have whatever table name you want to give. Okay, within the bracket, whatever is the column name, okay, and data type of it, separated from the next column name. It has to go in the same line. I am just writing it down for my convenience and for clarity. Okay, data type, comma, how many columns are there? Those many, all separated by just commas. Okay, bracket complete, semicolon, and enter. Okay, so this is what is the create table command. Okay, so this is the first elementary command, basic SQL command that we need to do, and this is a data definition language. That means you're trying to define the database by creating the various tables using the create command. So create query is put under the category create table command. Okay, so let's go ahead and okay, the same create command, now it has been improvised a little, and we are trying to put in certain other criterias or constraints by mentioning some of the attributes as primary key. Or we can also use the unique phrase, wherein I expect that certain column values are all unique. Unique means not same as each other. So none of the two employees or two students can have certain same value for certain attribute. So that is what is unique. So unique values. So let's see Primary key I have already mentioned in my prior videos as to what is a primary key. Primary key is a key or an attribute which will help identify the different the tuples from each other. You can uniquely identify the different rows in a table is what is primary key. Now let's see how does a create command look like with these attributes and constraints put under it. Create table name. So table name here is department. You might have any name given, that's absolutely the user's discretion to decide what he wants to use the name for that particular table. And within the bracket all the columns and their data type separated by commas. So the first column is D name, department name. Its data type is varchar 15 and it is mentioned as not null. You can also take a note of this, that the mention of what is the length of the field also has been mentioned here. Then second, definitely there's a comma separating it from the second attribute. Second attribute has been named as D number, integer and not null. Then the third field is MGR SSN, that's manager SSN, then char and 9. So couple of things you can just take a note, that we have something like length here mentioned within the bracket, and couple of data types look like char. Another one which has been introduced to us is integer. There's another third one which is varchar. Definitely this is the combination of character and integer, both the values when you want to have. So your own USN, like 18 MCA, 2GI, 18 MCA, whatever, 15, 16. So it has a combination of characters and variables. So you might very well use this particular data type. When you know purely it is going to be integer type, then you might use integer. So your roll numbers are purely integer type, so you might use integer. And not null, you do not want your roll numbers to be null, so that. And then character, when you want to have certain column as only character data type, then it's char. Then is manager start date, that is mentioned as the data type date. So there's something like date. Then is primary key. Now this is something for us to note, that the first time we are being introduced to something which is how do we mention or mention something as a primary key. Make a column as a primary key, make an attribute a primary key. So which attribute is, I'll just clear the screen for you. So let's only highlight this. So D number, which has already been defined here, that is D number is going to be integer type, it is going to be not null. That D number is being defined as primary key. So hereafter this D number is going to be used as primary key. Then again there's another keyword which is being used, that is D name. Okay, so D name is being used as been mentioned as unique. That means all the this is department name, so all department names have to be completely unique. None of the two departments can have the same name. But obvious, it goes fairly logical that no two departments can have the same name, and I want to put that constraint by mistakenly also. Nobody should enter any of the two departments with the same name. So restriction has been put, and that restriction looks like unique D name. Okay. Then again there is something like a foreign key. Now in this, please look at how it has been written. Foreign key, MGR SSN. So where is MGR SSN? Let me just clear this screen for you. Okay, let's just highlight foreign key. So it's foreign key MGR SSN. So you can say search for MGR SSN is here, and then it's referring to references to the employee. employee is a table name. Okay, table name. Okay, this is another relation in our relation is nothing but table. This is another table in our database. So what does it say? That MGR SSN, which is here, is a column which is a foreign key, and it has where it has references, it has in the employee table. I might show you the employee table a little later, but then just keep it in mind that this has been defined as foreign key. So you can imagine this table to be approximately of this structure. So this is our table with the name, department. Okay, what all fields are there in it? So first field is uh, D name. Okay, excuse me for the handwriting. Then is D number. Okay, then you have MGR SSN. Okay, then you have MGR start date is the name of this. Okay, so these are couple of fields, 4 fields, and in that what all has been told, that it has been defined that the D number, that is this field is a primary key. Okay, and then what has been told, D name has to be unique. Okay, then again there is another thing which has been told, that MGR SSN, that is here, is nothing but a foreign key, and it is connected to a column in the employee table. So we will see later as to how what kind of fields does an employee table have, and where is this foreign key connected with. This is how we are trying to build a relationship between the different tables. We will definitely see couple of tables together, so that you are able to figure it out, primary key, foreign key, how they help in building the relationship between the different tables. Okay, for to start with, we're going very slow. Let's be very gentle in learning. We're just trying to understand that there is something like a create table command. Create table command mentions all the column names or the attribute names with their mentioned data types. You can have some certain constraints put along with them. Okay, so the couple of constraints might look like not null. You might have a constraint wherein you are saying if something is primary key, something is unique. You might as well mention foreign key. So these are couple of things that you mention apart from the table name and column names. So this is what we learned in this particular slide. Hope I was clear. Now let's come back to a screenshot which I have taken from your book. Now this has the various tables. I'll just scroll again, and you can see that these are the various tables that were mentioned in the company database, and the same tables have been created here with the help of create command. So let's come here. So we have an employee table. So we have employee table wherein it has been said that there is foreign first name, middle initial, last name, SSN, birth date, address, sex, salary, super SSN, and D number. These are the various fields and their data types. Now this format does not mean that when you write this SQL query you write it like this. You need not. You can just write it in one single line. Just carry on writing in one single line, and complete the bracket followed by the semicolon, and enter. The table will be created for you. Okay, it is just for convenience and proper understanding that it has been written in couple of lines, so that you are able to segregate them and understand them properly. So the first name, the attribute, has the data type varchar, the length is 15, and it is not null. The second one has only char. Last name has varchar 15, the data type, and 15 is the length, not null. SSN has char 9, not null. Birth date is of date format. Address is of varchar 30 format. Sex is of character format. Salary is of decimal 10 comma 2, that means 10 the decimal place, 10 the digits and 2 the decimal places after the decimal point. Okay, so that's another data type that we have got introduced to, other than char, varchar, date that we had already been introduced. Supervisor's SSN is char 9. Then department number is integer and again not null. Now we have also mentioned here that primary key is SSN. So where is SSN? SSN is here, and definitely a primary key cannot have a null value. Automatically it becomes not null. So this is the understanding. So primary key SSN is not null. Then there is foreign key. Foreign key supervisor SSN, and the references are employee SSN. Okay, so this is what, so foreign key supervisor SSN and references employee SSN. So that means that foreign key is supervisor SSN is also here, which is references to the employee table only. So this is employee table itself, and it is said that it is SSN. So what does it say? A supervisor is related to the SSN of the employee. So this is related to employee SSN. So it has a connectivity here. Okay, so this is what is the meaning. Now foreign key department number. So where is department number? Department number is here. Department, let me just clear the screen for you. Okay, so let's do it again. It says foreign key department number has references in the department D number. So foreign key department number, that means this table department number is a foreign key and it has references to the department table. So department table is here itself, I need not go back. So department table D number. So can you see D number is here? So this D number is connected to this D number, and if you can just see this D number which is in the department table is a primary key. So this D number is a primary key here in the department table, and this DNO is a foreign key in the in this employee table. So are we getting this? So we have built a relationship between these two tables. Which two tables? Employee table and department table. So let's go again. Let me just clear the screen for you, do it one more time. So hope you understand. So please go slow in understanding. Department table has been created. So you can see that there are various fields. As I had mentioned, department table, this was already created in the last slide. If you remember, this is what it is. Okay, so these were the fields. So the same table, so there were 4 fields. In that, D number is what? D number is the primary key. So which is the primary key? This is the primary key. Can you see? Not null, integer. This is the primary key. So this is the primary key. And now let's go to the employee table back. So we have foreign key as D number. So I have foreign key as D number. So this D number, which has been mentioned as not null, is a foreign key. Okay, and it has references to the department table. So where is my department table? Department table is here. And where is the D number, the attribute? D number, the attribute is here. So D number attribute is primary key, and DNO is a foreign key in the other table, which is employee table. So now these two are connected with each other, and I had told you the integrity constraint, entity integrity constraint, wherein it was mentioned that all the values which are being mentioned in foreign key should also be present in the primary key. So I cannot have in department this employee table, department number, some value like department number 10 if I'm mentioning, and there is no department number 10 in the primary key, I mean in the attribute department. If there is no department with department number 10, how do I mention it for some employee that he is working in department number 10? Try and imagine this same situation in our college, wherein I say that certain employee is, I'm talking about employee table, and while entering the various data for the various tables, I mention that D number, under D number the column I say he is working in department number 10. But then when I visit the department number to check which is the department number 10 or what is the name of the department number name is also there, na? So I go to department, then I'm searching for the name of the department for department number 10, and I find that there is no department with department number 10 under the department number. So when I'm searching this column department number, okay, in this particular table in department, then I find that there is no mention of department number 10. I have 1 2 3 4 maybe till 8 only, okay, dot 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 8. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but there is no 9 and 10. And how do I claim that there is one person who is working in department number 10 when I am saying that there is no department? So this is what is entity integrity constraint. Okay, so this has to be, this is what is building the relationship between the integrity of the data is maintained with this. So this is what is the relationship that I may build between the two tables. Now let's see, hope this all is making sense. Let's go to the third table. It just casually goes as in there's one table called as department location, as mentioned, as we all know from our earlier knowledge that the naming convention of any table, can you see here, underscore is there, okay, underscore is there. That means you cannot have department space location the name for any particular table. I might have department together, department location together, it's fine, but then at the max I can join it with underscore. I cannot have space, nor can I have hyphen or anything. So only a special symbol which is allowed to make any name is underscore, so that goes by default. So I have some name of the table as department location, and I have couple of fields here. So I have only D number, which has been mentioned as integer and not null, D location, which is varchar 15 and not null, which is the primary key. Can you see? D number and D location both together, this is also not null, this is also not null, both together are making the primary key. Okay, so it might as well be the case that when you feel that one of the field is not capable of one particular field is not capable of being the primary key, then I might take one or two fields and together they might serve the purpose of primary key. What is the purpose of primary key? To uniquely identify one particular row. Okay, so that is what is, so the both together are primary key. Then I have a mention of foreign key, which is the foreign key, D number. So D number is the foreign key, and where it has references to department D number. So department's D number, which was a primary key, we had seen it earlier if you remember. So this D number here is a foreign key, and it has references to primary key of the department. Then again the same integrity rule will apply there. Okay, if I have mention of some department number here in this foreign key, it should be present in primary key. So this is what is the third table. Then I have couple of other tables also. So you can just carefully go through them. It's department location and primary key. Here is again two of the columns. Then there is a project. Uh, I think I have repeated the department location, is it? Yes, department location table has been repeated here in this screenshot as well. Now there is a project table wherein there are four fields. Primary key is P number, unique P name. So P name is a field which is not primary key, but it is expected that it has all unique values. Project name it is. So all project names have to be unique. Okay. So then again it has foreign key D number. So D number is a foreign key. Okay. Related to whom? Department D number. So department table was there. So department table and D number. So primary, it is primary key here. This is related to the foreign key here. So it is foreign key here. So this is how the various tables are related. I've pasted the same table which we had seen in the last video and in the last table. This is what is happening. So you remember in the employee table itself we had a foreign key which was mentioned as it is related to these primary key in the same table. Because it is underlined, you can very well understand that this is primary key, and this supervisor's SSN is related to the SSN of the employee. Okay. Similarly, this D number in the department is primary key, and it is related to which all tables. So you can see that this D number here in the employee table is a works as a foreign key and has references where to the primary key. So you can go just go by this line and you can see it is related here. And then same primary key is also related to this particular table, that is project table. So D number here in project table is related to primary key, the D number. Similarly, D number in department location, that is here, is a primary key. Can you see here two of them have been underlined? So both together are primary key. Okay. And one of them, this D number, is related to this D number here. So this is what. So let me just keep only primary key here. So let's do another one. So you can see that the P number here in the project table. Now this P number works on is related to the P number here. So this is what is a foreign key here, and this is a primary key here. So what is the entire purpose of doing all this cross connectivity is this makes sure that the integrity of the data is maintained. Okay. So and on top of it, the duplication of the data is also curtailed, because I need not store the project number or a lot of other things. See, suppose I have the connectivity between these two tables. I might you can see that in this particular table there are only these fields, but other than these fields, if I want to fetch other than project number, if I want to fetch project name, project location, department number, and so on, that also I can fetch from the other table to which it is connected via the project number, the field or attribute. So this is what is the entire beauty of DBMS. Okay, because of this connectivity we have the liberty of avoiding the data abstraction and data duplication, and we can fetch as many views as possible. We need not create different tables with duplicate data, and duplicate data again might not be a consistent data. That means in one particular thing I have made some changes, and in the other table I forget to make the same changes. So that might be the case. So I should keep the data only in one table as far as possible and have this kind of connectivity via the primary key and the foreign key. So this was the last video, last unit's screenshots which I have pasted here for your understanding, that these were the different tables and this is what we wanted the referential integrity to do. So can you just read out here? It is about the referential integrity constraints, and then this same thing has been implemented using the data definition language. The one of the queries, that is the create command. By creating proper tables with the proper constraints, I have actually been able to build this kind of integrity. Now once I have decided this kind of creating the table or the schema, and I have done it all this way, there should not be any problem in fetching the data from the different tables and creating different views as per our requirement. So with this, I finished my video for first video for the unit 3. Please go through it, and if you have Oracle installed on on your laptops, please try and practice the create commands. Now you can build all the tables in the company database if you have, and see if you are able to able to create it, and the further queries I will be handling in the forthcoming videos. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.